Now the other constraints of what we're looking for is that if I make premium, okay, it's going to have so much of compound A. Okay, and when I make premium, it has to be above 55% compound A. So I can be blending it from many different types of crude oil, but at the end of the day, what's making premium is it has to be above 55% of this compound A. So if we look at compound A, again, we can use X100, 200, or 300 for that. Compound A, this is the composition of compound A in each one. All right, so we can call this the amount of A in premium. All right, and what they're saying is it has to be 55%. So we can just go equals 0.55 and then multiply by, and this would be the premium. This is how much premium we're going to make. So 55% of that should be this compound A. Right? And in terms of what it should be is it should be greater than or equal to. So whatever we have in terms of compound A, it's got to be greater than or equal to 55% of this and 55% of our premium. So whatever we make for premium, it should be composed 55% or more of that. If you can see, when I click on this formula, you could say it's taking 55% of premium in terms of what we put together. Because over here, this is what our customer demanded for premium. This is what we're going to actually make for premium. Okay, so the amount of A in premium, we can get that from here. So the amount of A is 35%, 50%, and 60%. All right, and in 100, 200, and in 300. Okay, so 35, 50, and 60. Okay, so look here. So 35% of X100 is that A. 50% in X200 crude oil, and 60% of X300. All right, just verify. You'll see that compound A as we did for that one. Okay, so premium is greater than or equal to 55% of what makes up premium. And the other one is that it's got the amount of compound B as well. So compound B, there's no stipulation, as you can see in the contract, for how much compound C needs to be in premium, but it needs to be less than or equal to 23% of compound B. And compound B, in terms of in X100 is 25, 30, and 20 for X300. Okay, we can call that B in premium. So this will be B in premium. All right, so and again, premium is all here, so we stick it in here. Okay, so the amount of B in X100 is 25%, and then 30%, and then 20%. Okay, just verifying 25, 30, 20. X300 is 20, 200. Okay, so that lines up. And in terms of what we need for this one, if you look at the table, it's saying it has to be less than or equal to 23%. Needs to be compound B of the premium gas that we make. All right, so of the premium gas we make, so then we can just have 0.23 multiplied by the amount of premium gas we're going to make, which is right here. All right, so this is our premium demand. This is what we make compared to what the customer wants. So 23% of that needs to be compound B. And again, it's going to be less than or equal to. That's what they're calling for. If you take a look here, it's less than or equal to. Okay, so that's A in premium, B in premium. There's no stipulation for how much C is in premium, so we can skip that. We can go right on to regular. So look at the table for regular. For regular, there's no stipulation for compound B, or sorry, A, but there is for compound B. Compound B in regular gas has to be a minimum 25%. So 25% or more in terms of that mixture. All right, so compound B in regular. All right, so we can call that B in regular. Okay, now B in regular, we can copy this because this is B in premium. So this is the B that's in the gas. But we don't put it underneath, we put it over here where the regular is. All right, and you can see how we've lined that up. Right, so again, 25% of X100 is B, 30% of X200 is B, and 20% of X300 is B. And again, this comes from the table here, 25, 30, and 20. Okay, so let's take a look at what else is in regular. Is there anything else in regular? So for regular, it's in terms of compound C, right? So there's a certain amount of compound C. And compound C is 35% in X100, all right, 15% in X200, and 15% in X300. Okay, so this would be C in regular, and this would be 35, and then 15 and 15. And again, this is the amount of C in regular, and it'd be 35, 15 in 200, 15% in 200, and 15% in 300. Okay, so we got to put in the constraints at the end here. So the amount of B in regular, let's take a look, B in regular, had to be greater than or equal to 25% of the regular that we're producing. Okay, so greater than or equal to 25%. All right, so 25%, so this would be equal to 0.25 multiplied by the amount of regular that we're going to produce, which is right here. All right, you can see that that's the regular. This is what we produce compared to what the customer wants. So 0.25 of that, what we produce, should be composed of, in this case, the amount of B that is in regular. Okay, C that is in regular. Let's take a look in terms of C that's in regular. All right, so we want this to be less than or equal to 35%. All right, so that would be less than or equal to 35%. And it's 35% of, so 0.35, and that's going to be multiplied by the amount of regular that is produced. Right, again, this is regular, right, in terms of going across here. This is regular. This is how much we would make, and this is how much our customer wants. So we've just asked for that to be, if you can see here, 35% of that. Okay, the last two, let's take a look at the last two. And last two looks at economy. So economy needs a certain amount of compound A and a certain amount of compound C. All right, so we can call this A in economy, and this can be C in economy. Okay, and then economy would be these last three here. So A in economy, we can do A in premium, right? Because this is still A. Those numbers don't change. And we can put that right here, and we can verify. Okay, so it's lined up, and it's lined up. So again, just to verify, 35% of X100 is compound A. 50% is compound A in X200, and 60% in the sort of barrels of X300 crude oil is compound A. And just to verify, 35 for 100, 50% compound A for X200, and 60% compound A for X300. Now the other one is looking for the C, compound C in the economy. Well, we've got compound C right here. This is the numbers for compound C, and we can just copy those as well. Those numbers don't change because it's a composition. But we just have to make sure that they're underneath these three columns, which are economy. Okay, and again, that's 35% of X100 is compound C. 15% of X200 crude oil is compound C, and 15% of X300 is compound C. Okay, now let's take a look here in terms of what the constraint is for A in the economy. So A in the economy means it's got to be greater than or equal to 40%. All right, so that would be greater than or equal to, and that would be 40%. But it's going to be equal to 40% of what we produce for economy, which is right here. Okay, and multiply that by, and this is going to be what we produce. All right, so again, that's going across, K10 would be what we produce. This is what the customer wants. This is what we're going to produce. But we're saying that, and this is the restriction, 40% of that needs to be compound A in our economy grade blended gasoline, which we'll blend all together. Okay, last one is C, the amount of C in the economy. All right, compound C is less than or equal to 25. Less than or equal to 25%. And again, it would just be equal 0.25 and then multiplied by, if we go over here, this is economy, how much we're producing for economy, and that'd be K10 as well. All right, again, just highlight that. This is economy, this is what we produce, this is what the customer wants.